Okay, so we have just simplified these this adding fractions by getting a common denominator. Okay, because remember that is what we do whenever we have adding or subtracting fractions with different denominators. Okay, in part B, we have a multiplication of fractions with different denominators. Okay, remember, multiplication is a lot easier when we're looking at fractions than adding and subtracting is looking at fractions. Okay, because in multiplication, it's just numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator. Okay, so it's actually nice and easy for me to do this out. Let's start by just saying, okay, can I cancel anything from the top and the bottom? Okay, so is there anything multiplying across by the top and multiplying across by the bottom here? Okay, not obviously. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to factorize out these top lines to see is there anything at all that I can cancel out. Okay, so when they are giving me a multiplication, I'm having a 3x squared minus 11x plus 10. Okay, it is just multiplying the x plus 2. Now, remember, in your fractions, you can only cancel if something is multiplying the full top line and full bottom line. Okay, you cannot say something like there is an x squared here and an x squared here, so they will cancel. Okay, you cannot do something like that. Okay. Likewise, if you tried to go the route of multiplying this stuff out, okay, and you started this off by a 3x squared by an x gives you 3x cubed, okay, and so on. Okay, so plussing and minusing other things. And then over here, an x squared by a 3x gives you 3x cubed, okay, plus other things. These are not multiplying the full line. So you can't cancel those because they're adding on to other things. They're not multiplying every single thing in the line. Okay? So you do need to look at it as, how can I figure out what's multiplying the full top line, what's multiplying the full bottom line? Okay? How I'm going to do that is I'm going to factorize so that I can see each individual part of what is multiplying to give me the top line, what is multiplying to give me that bottom line. That way then, I can see what is multiplying the full top line, what is multiplying the full bottom line, and I can cancel them. So I'm going to factorize. So that first bracket has to be factorized there. Okay, so if we look at that first bracket, okay, let's highlight it in blue. Okay, if I look at that first bracket, okay, that first bracket is not a simple quadratic. It's not a really quick quadratic to solve or to simplify, factorize, okay? Its leading coefficient is not 1. So to factorize that, you have to say, okay, what multiplies to give me plus 30 and is going to add to give me a minus 11. So they have to be the same signs to multiply to give me a plus, okay? So I could do a minus with a minus or a plus with a plus, but if they're going to add to give me a minus 11, it's going to have to be a minus with a minus. Okay, so a minus 5 and a minus 6 will multiply to give me the plus 30 and will add to give me the minus 11. So I'm going to rewrite this out, this first bracket. Okay, I'm going to rewrite out that first bracket, but I'm going to factorize it. Okay, so I'm aiming to have this factorized. For the moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the minus 11x to what is adding to get me that. So my minus 6x and my minus 5x. You have to write down the x's. You're changing out the minus 11x with something else that is equal to it. So if you've just written minus 6 minus 5, that's minus 11. It's not minus 11x. Okay, so you have to write down those x's. And then my plus 10. And that is multiplying by x plus 2. Okay, now if you want, you can go over to the side and just factorize this by itself, and when you've got it fully factorized, sub it in here. That's fine. Okay, I'm just doing it out this way because it seemed to be the way that more of you tried. So I want to show you how to do it correctly. Okay, next one then that I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize the x squared minus 4. Okay, so the x squared minus 4 is a difference of two squares. So I'm going to open up my two brackets. I'm going to put an x as the first term in both. I'm going to put a plus 2 in one bracket and a minus 2 in another bracket. Okay, I'm going to copy down then my 3x minus 5. Okay, so straight away now we can see one thing that is multiplying the full top line and the full bottom line, and is this x plus 2. Okay, it's multiplying the full top line and full bottom line, so I can cancel that. Okay, I'm still going to continue factorizing this here, what's in blue. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to be looking at highest common factor for the first two terms, highest common factor for the last two terms. So highest common factor is going to be 3x, and I'm going to be left with an x minus 2. And for the minus 5x and plus 10, I'm going to take out a minus 5 and be left with x minus 2. Okay, so that's the top line. The bottom line, I have x minus 2 being carried down and the 3x minus 5 being carried down. Now you might spot at this stage that 2 minus x is multiplying everything on the top line. Okay, it's multiplying the 3x and it's multiplying the minus 5 and it's multiplying everything on the bottom line. So if you notice that, you can cancel them at this stage. Otherwise, no harm in continuing to factorize that top line out. Okay, put your things that were outside the brackets in one bracket together, so the 3x and the minus 5, and then put the bracket that was in common in the other bracket. Okay, and then copy down your denominator. Now, what we notice here is that we have the exact same numerator as we do the denominator. Okay, what is anything over itself? 1. So the answer here is 1. Okay, now just to explain a little bit further, okay, if you saw, okay, well, this cancels with this and this cancels with this, okay, why are you left with 1? Well, if you were to add something in there, okay, something in multiplying those things, it would be the number 1. It'd be a 1 and a 1 on the bottom as well. Okay, so you're left with 1 over 1. Okay, there's nothing to do with any other numbers here. Okay, it is something over itself, so does the number 1.